Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This is Hunter here, and I'm here with Scott. Scott, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing webtastic.
You are the worst.
Thanks.
That was wonderful, though.
It's all original material, so you know.
Yeah, no, well, that's even more impressive. So we're here to talk about the last trailer for one of my most anticipated films of the year, in Spider-Man: Homecoming. So, Scott, you know I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I have made no qualms about this. I thought he was the second best thing in Civil War, besides Black Panther, because he was a shit. But I loved Tom Holland's version of Peter Parker. He actually looks like he could be a teenager, which is something they have just fucking missed in all these goddamn Spider-Man movies that they keep trying to do. Um, my biggest concern has been, hey, you're showing a whole lot of Iron Man in these trailers, and I gotta be honest with you, Scott, that is still my biggest fear, is that it's gonna be more of an Iron Man movie than a Spider-Man movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but is that really a fear for you though? I feel
It
like
is, actually.
you and Robert Downey Jr. are like BFFs.
Look, I love Robert Downey Jr. Don't get me wrong. I think he's the
And
guy.
Iron Man. You do enjoy some Iron Man.
I do, what? What do you want me to say? Robert Downey Jr. is hands
Okay,
down
you
my
know what? All right,
favorite.
okay. What I'm saying is, I feel like you add Iron Man and you add Spider-Man, both awesome. I feel like you get like double awesome movie. Like, I feel like that's the equation here. Or are you thinking that he's gonna take away from the Spider-Man
That's exactly
aspect
my
of
fear.
this?
Right there. You just hit the nail. You just webbed the spider there. That is exactly my wasn't as good as yours, but what are you gonna do?
That's okay.
I that is my biggest fear about this, is that this will turn into more of an Iron Man movie than a Spider-Man movie. And uh, what I do
Because that's sort of the premise of this, right? Is that he's under Iron Man's wing.
yeah, or under his armor, if you will. But he
Flying wing.
didn't like that one. But so here's my thing. I guess this is my back and forth, my where I'm so confused and conflicted is because if we had to sit through another Spider-Man origin story, God help me, I'd be really sad. And while this is an origin story, this isn't gonna have Uncle Ben. You
Aunt
know,
May.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're not gonna have to go through that same shit again. Thankfully, we're gonna be able to get more straight to action, which I really appreciate. And the fact that this is taking place so close after Civil War, and the fact that you have that superhero registration act, or whatever they're calling it, the Sokovian Accords, pardon me. But you have that in play. You have the fact that the Avengers are broken up right now. They're really just a name. The fact that you have all this stuff happening in the background to incorporate into said Spider-Man story, that makes me real excited. Tom Holland really looks like he could be a teenager and seems to fucking love the role. I mean, I'm sure for what he's getting paid, who wouldn't love it? But and also he's a Brit, hides the accent super well. So kudos to you. Can't even tell that he's from England. So props on that alone. But this does seem very, very, very Iron Man heavy, and I think my biggest fear is that maybe it will come down to Iron Man and Spider Man to save the day. I want Spider Man to do that for himself because I think if that's important, if that makes sense.
totally. This is definitely the giant that is Marvel, and how big their reach is, and that now that they have the rights, that this is just Spider-Man is just going to be an extension of their universe now, and as many characters and storylines as they can weave, they're going to, and this is, I feel like, they're beginning their own origin story for him, without being an origin story, their origin story within the Avengers, within Iron Man, within this current Marvel universe. And it's exciting in that regard because you know what Marvel has done and their track record is pretty damn good. Um, but yeah, it was definitely strange to see Robert Downey Jr. Featured so much in this trailer. I also noticed the suit is a little bit different. It's really interesting to see. the intricacies and the differences between this and the last series and even the first series, and the way that they're going with the suit, and like it has at a certain point in the trailer, he looks down at his hands, and you can see it's basically sort of like an Iron Man type suit with like an AI feature to where he can analyze things just by looking at it, similar to the way Tony Stark does. So definitely see some similarities there. But yeah, jumping in the action, I feel like I'm excited for it, but um, you really never know with Spider-Man. It hasn't always been a sure thing.
True, and I think my thing is that we're in an age where we have a great Iron Man movie, we have a great uh, Captain America movie. I don't have. I think the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man is really good. I think it's a great film actually at points, but I don't have that Winter Soldier of a Spider-Man
Hmm.
film. You know what I mean? Where it's so good, I just have to tell everybody about it. I don't have that for Spider-Man, and considering he's in my top three, if not my favorite comic book hero ever. Uh, I want that really badly, and I'll be honest with you, I'm genuinely terrified that this could get screwed up again. I honestly am.
Hmm.
I will totally throw it out there, and I'm kind of going into this movie trying to keep that in the back of my head that they could fuck this up. It's a possibility. I think it's a small one, but they could legit fuck this up, and I'm like, oh wow, that's depressing. Looks like you gotta try again. So, um, I will say one of the biggest complaints, even as a kid, I just never thought it never made sense to me, is how this broke 15-year-old can afford a full functioning Spider-Man costume.
Hmm.
So the fact that they have Stark kind of stepping in to give him the upgrade, it makes sense. I know some
It's
people,
definitely more realistic for sure.
yeah, and I know some people scoffed at it, like, what the hell? Look, they they show that Peter has developed the web shooters and developed the webbing himself. So he's clearly intelligent. He's clearly smart. So it's not like Stark's doing everything, but he's giving a suit to enhance his abilities at this point. So that makes sense to me.
So we know that there's probably going to be some sort of shout out to an origin, right? Like there has to be some like flashback or something. It because you're not looking for an origin story. How much of that would you be willing to see, like, and put up with? Like how
About
much
5
of this
minutes.
how much of this movie would be dedicated to like him being bit by a spider?
5 minutes. There's no
You
need
just
for more than
just
5 minutes.
just quick flashback and
Yeah.
that's it, and then move on.
Yep, I would be totally okay with that because, dude, we've seen it so many times. I don't want to sit through it again. I honestly don't. It's been there. It's been done. You know what I also think is really irritating is that people know Spider-Man's origin so well. So
Mm.
at this point, like, why do we even need to explain it anymore? You know, he gets bit by a spider, and you know he wakes up, and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm strong, and I can stick the shit." And that's pretty much all you really need to know. So we don't need to spend more than 5, 10 minutes on his origin, if that. I don't think there's a need for more than 5, 10 minutes. I really don't. So hopefully they keep it short. But um, one thing I am gonna throw out that has me very excited is Michael Keaton. Oh my god, he looks terrifying, and I find a beautiful irony in the fact that Birdman is playing the Vulture. That just makes me very happy.
Hmm.
And dude, I think he's gonna be a damn good villain. He looks like he's just not fucking around, and he's ready to just, I love that line where he goes, "Don't mess with me. I'll kill you and everyone that you love." It's like, damn, all right, that's pretty straightforward, and not a whole lot of wiggle room for misinterpretation. So, and Michael Keaton, man, I mean, he's been really good in stuff like Spotlight, The Founder recently, and even the other guys, which I really love him in. He's been hasn't having this really big career resurgence, and I'm actually happy for the dude. So I'm curious to see what he's gonna bring to this. Kind of, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely agree about Michael Keaton. Spotlight was
Yes,
excellent.
it was.
Birdman, he won the Oscar for that, correct?
He
Or was
was
he just nominated?
just sadly nominated. Call
That
me
was just the
sad.
nomination. The
Yeah,
Birdman itself did win Best Picture though, if I'm not mistaken.
it did. Yeah.
But yeah, Spotlight was, also excellent. for sure a guy that is kind of exciting to see back in the comic book world. He did Batman Returns. Um, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm interested, but very wary. The director is kind of a little bit unheralded. John Watts. He's done just a couple things. Cop Car with Kevin Bacon recently,
which was great.
which was really good. The Onion News Network, which I think is fucking hilarious. He's directed that. But I'm a little bit more not as quite as familiar with the rest of his work. So I think for sure this will be a bit of a coming out because this is a huge,
Homecoming.
this bit of a homecoming, and I think this is definitely his chance to shine, and this is a huge movie. Like this is the big times. So yeah, just interested to see how it all comes together. The main characters, I mean, it looks like there's going to be a lot of action. I mean, looks like he's going to be actually saving people, other than his girl. So yeah, this it's a wait and see for sure because you just like you said, you never know. It's hard to be confident about a Spider-Man movie these
Yeah.
days because we haven't really had a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, I will just say in closing, I am nervous about this. I'm fucking petrified about this, to be totally honest. Um, I'm curious how this is gonna set things up moving forward. I'm very curious, like how this movie will end up. And
Mhm.
I'll tell you right now, if you haven't watched it, don't watch the last international trailer because I think it gives way too much away, to be honest. And I connected a couple dots I really wish I wouldn't have. So stay away from that. Don't watch it. Stick with the domestic versions. But this comes out July 7th. Uh, I will be psyched to see this. I actually might even I might even buy a Spider-Man costume and wear the premiere now. I'm not even kidding.
I would love, I would love to see that.
I'm genuinely considering it, but I don't know, man. I'm nervous. I'm really nervous about this, but we will see. But July 7th this comes out, so guys, Spider-Man: Homecoming. How you feeling? Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna. I don't think we even mentioned this. The poster got roasted on Twitter, and I'm not gonna lie. There's that one where Rob Downey Jr. is standing. Pretty much, there's that one where they replace every character with a different picture of Rob Downey Jr. That made me laugh really hard. Um, it's a concern. It is a concern that's there's going to be more Iron Man 4 than Spider-Man: Homecoming. So hopefully Marvel found a balance because, and you're right, Scott. I think Rob Downey Jr. enhances what he's in, but I don't want this to get to that Wolverine level. You know what I mean? Where they're leaning on him so much because they're just afraid to let anyone do their own thing. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when this comes out. But follow us here on SoundCloud at the Real Pineapple 775. Follow us on Podbean at the Real Pineapple. Follow yours truly on the Twitter at J Hunter Real Pineapple. You can follow Scott on Twitter at.
Newman the first.
And guys, you can follow our other comrade, Colin. Colin, we miss you, buddy, at the Real O'Neill. That's REEL O'Neill. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll have reviews up this weekend for Wonder Woman. Come on, DC. Let's go. Let's get it right. And dude, I hope that's good, man. I'm so worried about that. And Captain Underpants, Scott's most anticipated film of the year.
Boo.
Guys, guys, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.